Hi, welcome to another day. Welcome to Thursday. Today we're going to talk about the end of Isaiah's teachings and how God wins our game. I just spoiled it for you. You now know who wins. And I have a quote for you. President Gordon B. Hinckley says, believing in what? Believing in God, the Father of all of us, the eternal Father, the governor of the universe, the great God of heaven. He is our Father in heaven, whose children we are. Believe in his whose children we are. Believe in his reality. Believe in his personality. Believe in his power. Believe in his goodness. Believe in his capability to bless the children whom he loves. And I thought that was just so perfect for today to kind of dive or go into the scriptures and what we're learning about today with this in mind. So as we keep going and as we come to our breath, let's think about that for a minute. So come here and inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. My daughter's going to join us again. I guess she really loved it last week. Inhale and exhale. Come to that breath and start breathing. Keep that breath going. And I'm just going to repeat part of it. My favorite is when he says, believe in his reality. And as I repeat this again, I just want you to, as you're coming to your breath and breathing, think to yourself about what you picture. Notice what you picture when I talk about things of Christ. So, believe in Christ's reality. What do you picture when I say Christ's reality? Believe in Christ's personality. What does that look like in your mind? Believe in Christ's power. Believe in Christ's goodness. Believe in his capability to bless the children whom he loves. Gordon B. Hinckley was one of my very favorites. I still miss him so much. He always had such good things. Okay, as your breath is kind of alive, I'm going to put that down. Inhale brings your arms up. Pace, do you want to come do yoga with me? Stand up and bring your arms all the way up to the sky. Bring your arms all the way up to the sky. Good. Just like this. Bring your arms all the way up. Find length, find stretching, find those spaces in your spine between those vertebrae that are just a little bit tensious. Lift them up and away from each other and find length here. Inhale here, a couple breaths. You ready to do it with me? Okay, stand right here. Inhale here, and on your exhale, we're going to swan dive, bringing our arms out to the side of us, down to our mat, bending at the hips. Swan dive down to your mat. Good. From here, we're going to halfway lift. So flatten that spine. Place your hands on your shins. I don't know what that is.
Pink.
It's pink. Pretty cool, huh? And today we're going to start in chapter 19, verse 6. At the end of the 6, it talks about Christ and his names. So Isaiah is just basically introducing Christ again into the Book of Mormon. 19, verse 6. At the end of it, Isaiah starts telling us about a child is born, and unto us a son is given, and what he should be called. And he lists a good amount of names. Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And then if we go back into chapter 17, verse 14, it says, you shall bear a son, talking to Mary, and he shall be named Emmanuel, which is another name for him. So he's like, hey, there is a winner in your game, in our faith game, and these are his names. This is what we are going to call him. Okay. Right here, we are going to place our palms on the mat, and you're going to pick up your left leg and bring it back and down. Bring the knee down to the ground. So this leg should be a 90-degree angle. This leg should be a 90-degree angle. And then from here, we're going to inhale our arms all the way up, just like this. And it takes a little bit of balance, surprisingly. It doesn't seem like a hard pose, but it will. It'll test that balance a little bit. Put some strength in your ankles. Good job, Paige. You're doing so good. And then in chapter 21, in the intro of that, and in verse 1, he talks about the stem of Jesse, which is also kind of a name of his. And I went through actually in these all of Isaiah, but it's mostly all of the ones that are highlighted are mostly near from about 19, 17, 19, and on. But I just highlighted all of the names of Christ that we see. So stem of Jesse. And in chapter 21, yeah, okay. So then we start talking about, first, what kind of a leader is God? In chapter 21, verse 1 through 5, we talk about the kind of leader that God is. Okay, and before we do that, we're just going to bring our both hands back down to the ground. Our left hand is going to stay right there. It's going to be right in front of that left knee, just right up here by your right foot. And your right arm is going to go all the way up, reaching up, twisting here, gazing up. You'll feel that twist. This is a revolve. Whenever in yoga, whatever pose it is, we call it revolving, when you're twisting this way and bringing the opposite arm up. Good job, Pace. My own personal little monkey. Okay, bring that arm back down. Other arm, we're going to bring the left arm all the way up and twist this way. So, the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him. So we're talking about what kind of a leader God is, right? So I'm just going to write, and I underlined everything that I found. And as you guys your left arm is still up, I'm just going to read these. The Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him. So he's restful. There's wisdom and understanding, counsel and might, knowledge and the fear of the Lord, understanding, not judging, neither reproving, righteousness, judging the poor, equity for the meek, smiting the earth with a rod of his mouth, which is like complete power, right? Slaying the wicked, righteousness and faithfulness. So I love that there's so much in there. Okay, bring both palms down to the mat. Our left toes are going to come onto the ground, and we're just going to lift that knee up. And we're switching legs. So our right leg is going to come back and meet our left. Our left leg is going to come up through both of our hands. Right knee down on the ground. 90-degree angle here. 90-degree angle here. Arms up. Inhale here. Good job, Pace. You're so good at yoga, babe. You're so good. I just love that there's so much variation in this. There's wisdom and understanding, counsel and might, knowledge, righteousness, equity for the meek, like so much humility and gentleness and quietness. And then smiting the earth with the rod of his mouth, like, yes, I am God. Slaying the wicked, like there's also this power behind that is kind of cool. And then, no, we're not gonna zip it all the way up. Okay. Right palm down to the ground, left hand all the way up to the sky. Twist here. Good job, Pace. Good. This hand all the way up. Good job. Way to go. Beautiful. And then verse 6 through 9. He talks about the spoils of victory and what it means and what it feels like and what it looks like to be victorious, to be on God's side. And and just be on the God side, be on the winning team. Exhale that palm down to the ground, other arm all the way up. Chapter 22, at the heading of this chapter, I wrote the victory song because I feel like it's like a song from Isaiah that's like, oh Lord, I will praise thee. You will be my comfort. You are Jehovah, which is a name, right, that I've highlighted. You're my strength, you're my song, you're my salvation, you're my joy. I will call upon you. I will praise you. Sing unto the Lord. So pretty. It's such a pretty chapter. And then chapter 24, verse 4. How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city is ceased. God wins. Satan is leaving. And then in verse 9 it talks about how Satan is sent to hell and he leaves the earth. And there's no more temptation, there's no more wickedness, there's no more. And these people, in verse 27, these people are now free of that. Okay, so come up. This time, we're just going to bring our knee was down, right? Our right knee is going to come up. Our back foot is going to be at a 45-degree angle, which means our warrior poses, right? So we're going to come up into warrior 2. Right here. Hi. And I always like to scoot my back leg back so that I can bend that front knee a little bit deeper. In verse 16 and 17, it talks about how they have seen Satan and they're not very impressed, these people, while he's being sent to hell. And they're kind of like, is this the man? This is the man that has, trialed us and riddled us and tempted us. And then verse 27, the Lord of hosts. There's another name for Christ. And then we come into my very favorite part of all of this. So come back down. A lot of times when we come out of Warrior 2, it's called windmilling your hands. So we're starting with our left, and you just make a windmill with your hands, bringing them up and down. Come into downward dog. Exhale here. On your inhale, bring the right leg through both of your hands. Thank you, babe. Back leg at a 45-degree angle. Come up into Warrior 2. We're just switching sides. Thank you, please. And I'm going to come this way, so I'm facing the camera. If you have your scriptures, grab them and come into chapter 25, verse 23. At the bottom it says, I know that it is by grace that we are saved after all that we can do. 24, and notwithstanding we believe in Christ. We keep the law of Moses and look forward with steadfastness unto Christ. 25, Christ, because of our faith. And 26, we talk of Christ, we rejoice in Christ, we preach of Christ, we prophesy of Christ, and we write according to our prophecies, that our children may know to what source they may look for remission of their sins. So I looked up, at the very beginning, I looked up that word grace in there. By grace that we are saved after all that we can do. And it's basically believing in Christ. If nothing else, believe in Christ. I know sometimes we get so caught up in, and it's hard not to, but we get so caught up in all the things that we are taught to do, all the assignments that we have, which are so awesome, and we should never downplay those. I fully believe that they are there for a reason. Okay, let's windmill our arms back down to the ground. Bring that right leg back to meet the left and just come right into downward dog. Pigs, can you do downward dog? Good job. Good. Inhale here and exhale. Just come into a seated position. You're playing with my zipper. I just love how simple that is, how much it just brings it back into so much simplicity of, if nothing else, just believe in Christ. Because really that is everything that we are about. We are the Church of Jesus Christ, of Latter-day Saints. And that is what matters. That's what it comes down to.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we love Jesus Christ. Huh? I hope you enjoyed this week. I hope you learned a lot, as did I. And I'm excited to study the scriptures from here on out as I have this week. I've learned a ton, and I've learned a lot also about just how to study and really understand and dive deeper into the Book of Mormon and share that with you guys. The light in me honors and loves the light within you. Namaste.